So here's the deal.
This is Mr. Potato Head, Sergeant Brian Johnson from the Springdale Police Department. Welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. Sergeant Johnson actually thinks he can turn a constitutionally protected activity into a crime. And he doesn't just think it, he says he can.
You cannot turn a constitutional protected activity into a crime.
Absolutely we can.
Absolutely we can.
Oh, you just wait. We got a whole lot of pignorance to show you in this video. And this is just the tasty appetizer.
I'm going to send an officer in there and see if anybody there wants to pursue charges for harassment for police surveillance on the bank. So you can't just claim you're having a constitutional right.
If it make them feel some type of way.
If they feel harassed and they're being...
Feel harassed? What if I feel harassed? They approach me.
And then you're telling us that you are robbing banks?
I mean, if that's what you want to do and get your qualified immunity stripped, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can. We absolutely can.
Claiming constitutional right does not void your responsibilities not to commit crime.
How long was the academy? What, 6 months? How long you think it was?
I don't know.
Man, 6 months. They don't teach you law. All y'all know is disorderly conduct, trespass, everything to arrest somebody. Because if I ask you what is the First Amendment, you can't say it.
Don't ever let your guard down around cops, even if they're smiling. Remember, smiling tyranny is still tyranny. They always come with deception, intimidation, manipulation, escalation, and violation. And I want to show you an example of this from Kansas City Accountability's recent interaction with the Springdale Police Department. Kansas City Accountability is outside on a public sidewalk recording an Arvest bank. He then has a cordial conversation with Matt, who's one of the assistant managers. Then Yemena walks up. After talking with KCA, they both walk away to get further directives from their supervisor. And when they come back, they inform Kansas City Accountability that they have no choice but to call men with guns for a man peacefully recording on a sidewalk. Soon, the City of Springdale Police Department shows up, and at first, things seem really cordial until Corporal Abernathy and Officer Sanchez say they need to get KCA's ID so they can write a report for trespassing. The only problem is he hasn't even been on Arvest property yet. But here comes the deception part, and it only ramps up from here.
I didn't get your name. What was your name?
Mr. Banks?
Mr. Banks?
Yes, ma'am.
First and last name, Mr. Banks?
Yes, Robin. Friends call me Rob.
Robin. Last name?
Banks.
Banks. Robin Banks. R-O-B-I-N or R-O-B?
You can just put Rob.
Robin Banks. What's your date of birth, Mr. Banks?
My date of birth?
Yes, sir. They just want you banned from the property. We're just going to log your name with our dispatch to let them know that you're not allowed on the property.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't on their property, and I don't have no intentions on going in or on their property.
And I understand that. They want us to ban you and trespass you from their property even though you haven't been on it.
Even though I haven't been on the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You mind if you get like a supervisor out here, please?
Sure.
An actual supervisor now? Always goes left, everybody. Yeah, because I saw some laws here say you don't have to like ID unless you're driving or you've been arrested. Just for them just saying, hey, don't come back on the property.
So
y'all can just say that. They don't actually like need ID for that.
I'm not asking for your ID. I just want your name and your date of birth so I can log it with my dispatch so that if you're ever contacted again on the property, that we know that you're banned from the property. That's it. I'm not running your name. I'm not checking to see if you have warrants, nothing like that.
Yeah, I just rather stay anonymous. By law, you're only required to show ID if you're being arrested or if you're driving, if you pull me over.
That's not always true.
You need reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime to get an ID.
Now we've got some more cop-splaining from Corporal Abernathy, who couldn't catch a moderately fit criminal if you paid her salary in donuts.
So, again, we haven't said you're committing a crime. You haven't done anything wrong. All we're asking for is your name and your date of birth because they don't want you on their property at all. I understand you have not been there on their property.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? I'm not asking for ID. I'm not demanding an ID. Okay? I'm just trying to facilitate what they're asking for and facilitate what you're already doing.
Yes, ma'am. So what you would do, you just say, hey, sir, I know you already know, but just so I can let you know, they don't want you back on their property. If we catch you on their property, it's going to be some extra things that's going to be taking place.
That. But if I'm trespassing you, I have to log with my dispatch, because if the next officer makes contact with you and you are on their property, I have no way of knowing. The next officer has no way of knowing who I contacted.
Yes, ma'am. They would know. And this is just a warning. Yes, ma'am. And this is just a warning, a trespass warning. A warning got to come first. They say, hey, don't come back on my property. And then she just said trespass, though.
Yeah, you're not getting charged with it. That's just what they call it when you were banned from the property.
Yeah, it's amazing, Officer Strong. You know, let's just say I was on their property. You would just say, hey, sir. They would say, hey, can you get off the property? You got to give me reasonable time to come off the property. And that's that. Somebody just pointing at somebody, hey, that guy up there, I don't want him on my property. And you go try to ID him and you say, hey, well, sir, I want to stay private. And he'll get arrested for nothing.
And this is where we get to the manipulation, intimidation, escalation, and violation in one sloppy, pudgy being, all embodied in the person of Sergeant Brian Johnson. We're going to watch him attempt to swing his authoritative Johnson all over the place while trying to intimidate KCA out of his rights.
Hey, I'm Sergeant Johnson.
How you doing, Sergeant?
Supervisor?
Can we start with
for you, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Just to keep everything just short and sweet, sir. Yep. I spoke with Miss Hamina. I have her business card right here.
Abernathy?
Not Abernathy. First, I'm speaking about the lady at the bank.
Okay.
She came out concerned. I let her know I have no intentions on going in or on your property.
Okay.
I'm strictly on the sidewalk.
Okay.
I'm not going to be here too long.
Okay.
I thought the officers did great until they saying they don't want me on their property. I'm like, well, I wasn't there and I have no intention.
Right. They have a right to ban you, but go ahead.
That's fine, but it seemed like we got to a point where they're trying to like demand me for my ID or my name.
Well, they need that to ban you from the property. So here's what we're going to do. Because I understand your concern.
And I'm just...
I understand. Here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to send an officer in there and see if anybody there wants to pursue charges for harassment for police surveillance on the bank. Okay, if they want to do that, then we're going to go ahead and open up a case, an investigation. I will send that to the prosecutors to find out. I'll call them right now to see what they want to do about that. If that's the case, then you're obligated by law to identify yourself, okay?
And that's wild, sir, because I'm out here exercising. I'm out here conducting a constitutional protected activity.
Yeah, you have every right to.
Hold on,
but if they feel like they're harassed or the bank, there's exceptions for police surveillance on banks. You understand that, right?
So real quick, just let me speak. I'm not going to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm out here conducting a constitutional protected activity.
Yes, sir.
You cannot turn a constitutional protected activity into a crime.
Absolutely, we can.
Just let this sink in. A sergeant whose primary job it is to protect and secure the rights of the people says that he can arbitrarily turn any one of those rights, if he catches you exercising them, into a crime. Forget about making stuff up. This comedy sketch writes itself. He's also saying he's going to send an officer into the building to see if he can solicit a harassment charge for someone filming the outside of a bank on a public sidewalk. And this clown isn't even done saying stupid crap.
You can turn a constitution.
So you can't just claim you're having a constitutional right if you're breaking the law.
Free press. I'm just out here recording.
Even a media.
It doesn't matter, sir.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You are the sergeant.
Listen to what I'm saying. Okay, just because you're claiming a constitutional right does not mean you're not violating laws. I could claim constitutional right.
I'm doing what you're doing. This is the First Amendment.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Free press.
But what they're saying is absolutely. But polling surveillance on a bank is different than just. It's like running into the building saying, bomb or fire. Right. You have a right for freedom of speech, but doing that can cause alarm, which is against the law.
So you saying if me out here just recording, if it make them feel some type of way,
feel harassed and they're
being harassed. What if I feel harassed? They approach me.
Yeah, out here videotaping their personal. I was told
there's no expectation of privacy in public. I can point my camera.
You're videotaping their cars and the employees, and then you're telling us that you are robbing banks.
I didn't say I'm robbing banks.
Yes, I heard you identified yourself.
No, she asked me what was my last name. I told her she can call me Mr. Banks.
Okay, in the call it says something about robbing banks.
Who did?
Robin, last name Banks.
I told her.
Okay.
I said you can call me.
Okay.
You can call me Mr.
So,
Banks.
in the totality of stuff, you can understand their concern. If they're alarmed by that, then we can open up a criminal investigation. That's all I'm trying to tell
I mean, if that's what you want to do and get your qualified immunity stripped, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can. We absolutely can. Wow. This is y'all sergeant?
I'm one of them.
That's bad, sir. I'm shocked. I told you I was out here conducting a constitution-protected activity, and you can't turn that into a crime. It's free press. You said press credentials. There's free press.
But you're trying to make exceptions to something.
I'm not. I'm just standing in public recording. That's the
Your
basics.
example, just like I just told you, the example of going into a crowded theater and yelling bomb.
That's private, though. You can't do that.
It doesn't matter. It's a constitutional right for freedom of speech to say what you want in public, correct?
A theater is private. A theater is private, though.
Even if you're outside. If you're outside in a parking lot, in a crowded parking lot, and you start yelling gun or bomb or anything that's alarming, even though you have a right to speech, that still violates the law.
What law is they violating by just saying gun? If I'm at a park and I'm just saying gun, gun.
Yeah, or if you start saying bomb or anything else,
I just say bomb. What crime would that be?
It can be.
It can be
communicating a false alarm. Just like this can be a law. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It can violate a criminal law.
Oh man, well I did let you know I'm out here conducting a constitution-protected activity, free press. And if you want to turn that into something, hey Strong, you don't follow this, bro. You don't follow this.
So here's the deal.
We could have kept on pushing, man. Y'all trying to turn this into something.
No. So,
and do you have your business? Do you have your business card on you, sir? Please, and thank you.
Listen to me, just for 1 second. They don't want to pursue charges, so we're not going to open a criminal investigation. I'll just try and tell you what was going to happen.
That's wrong. That is wrong. I definitely need your
I am.
I definitely need your card. I'm actually finna I'm gonna be out here a little bit longer, but I'm definitely finna go down to your police station.
Absolutely.
You are absolutely wrong, Officer Johnson, sir.
It's Sergeant Johnson.
Sergeant Johnson. I give you that respect. But when you don't know it, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
This is the last question. This is my last question.
And debate this. I'll explain
you kind of close.
What the thing is. Claiming constitutional right does not void your responsibilities not to commit crime.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, I'm going to get your card and I'll be back in just a
Okay. Please. How long was the academy? What, 6 months?
No, man, that was a long time ago.
How long you think it was?
I don't know.
Man, 6 months. They don't teach you law. All y'all know is disorderly conduct, trespass, everything to arrest somebody. Because if I ask you what is the First Amendment, you can't say it.
If we were going to arrest you, you'd already be under arrest.
Sir, I'm just listening what how he's handling this call. Y'all are up under him. He's been on the force for 2 years. She been on 1, and they watching this guy. And he is wrong.
If you were under arrest, you would have already been in handcuffs.
Officer Johnson, before we get out of here, if you can help Sergeant Johnson. I'm sorry, Sergeant.
It's all right.
Can I get that, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Would you be able to explain to us, I'm just taking a couple steps back, can you explain to everybody in here what is the First Amendment? There's 5 elements to the First Amendment.
Debate this with you.
That's not a debate.
So
I'm just asking you.
We're done doing business. I explained to you what was about to happen. They said they don't want to pursue charges. You're free to sit out here and record. You're not causing any alarms. If they call and say they're causing alarms on a thing, then we have to investigate that as a possible crime. That's all I was trying to tell you. So they called us, and one of the employees said
and I totally understand. I'm not harassing nobody just with my camera, but can you please let us?
If they feel that way,
I can control how they feel.
All right. Just like we can't control you sitting out here giving us a fake name.
But one more thing, I just said you can. You don't want to tell us what the First Amendment is?
Please stay off their property. If you come on
I never was on their property. Okay. Hey, Officer Strong, real quick. Officer Strong.
We're done, buddy.
It's OC. Hey, look, Officer Strong, don't. Hey, listen, for real, man, because you did good until your people came.
And that, my friends, is the deception, intimidation, manipulation, escalation, and violation of the Springdale Police Department, packaged nice and neat with a bow of pignorance tied nice and tight, keeping all the bullshit together. I'll leave KCA's link in the description, and if you visit him, let him know Here's the Deal sent you. If you like these commentary videos, maybe you'll like some of my others. Check out my most popular playlist. I'm sure there's a lot of videos on there that you haven't seen yet, and they're all still very much in play today as they were the day that I made them. If you want to support this channel, the links are in the description below. Like this video, share this video with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, heck, buy a shirt. And I don't know why you're not a channel member yet. Become a channel member. I produce at least one video every day of the week, 365 days a year, in order to plant brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. Remember, your rights don't end where police potato head nonsense begins. I'll see you in the next video.